Good morning. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me on an even path. I teach English language learners. My students range in age from 5 to 11. Many of my colleagues never want another year like this last one, and I understand why. For me, however, the irony of the pandemic school year was that the narrowness of our teaching options brought me into unexpected closeness with my students and their families. Zooming with my students individually or two at a time, I had the luxury of space, the space to let them talk. Could I tell you something? Was one of my littlest one's favorite questions, and my answer always, yes. Tell me something. Something that you love, something that you fear, something that you know. Tell me something. And they did. During the pandemic school year, I met them literally where they lived, in their homes, in their cars, with their families, younger siblings insisting on joining us, grandparents calling to them in their home language. In those narrow boxes on our computers, there was space to see my students in their own worlds. I have never before, and may never again, have the gift of such invitation into the lives of my students. Parents trusted me with their children's lives. They do so every year, but this felt different. This felt deeper. Each week, I wrote to describe the amazing progress their children made, because they had. In spite of the restrictions with which we were all struggling, the children continued to learn, grow, bloom. It was nothing short of miraculous. They were able to laugh, tell jokes, share joy, as well as frustration, fear, and fatigue. In those narrow places, we found our way to a new kind of connection. We couldn't talk over one another, so we learned how to listen. We learned how to look, how to truly see the person on the other side of the screen. In a way, it was teaching in its purest form. The restriction of not being able to physically bridge the space between us somehow allowed us to be more ourselves, to be vulnerable. No leave, no leave, a little one pleaded at the end of every lesson. I didn't want to. I wanted to stay in that magical space we'd created together, where my students felt themselves recognized. And isn't that what we all want at some point in our lives? To be seen, to be heard, to be known. Navigating close spaces with an open, trusting heart brought me to a place of greater spaciousness. Even in a narrow place, we can expand our awareness, courage, understanding. In this new year, may we find our way through the narrow places with deeper faith and renewed purpose. May we know ourselves recognized at a human level, a heart level, a soul level, by God, yes, always, and by our fellow travelers. May we reach our unique destination safely, and may we have gentle, loving companions and guides along the path. Shana Tova.